Just getting back from my run out in the sun in the nice fall temperatures here in late September in St. Augustine. And I was thinking about an interview I saw and kind of a retrospective on the disastrous Bolsonaro presidency. And it dawned on me that the takeaway from all this Bolsonaro and Trump and other fascist type guy leaders is one of the many, many important takeaways is, do you have time? Because I got a 3 hour thing here. No, the takeaway was that those politicians came into their political systems, watched their systems, and were involved in them even before their presidencies. But they came along, and there already was corruption. And Bolsonaro in Brazil had been charged with corruption and stuff during. I'm sorry, Lula had been charged with things, and then it was carried out during Bolsonaro, and then that Operation Car Wash was found to be a flawed thing, where it was Bolsonaro trying to punish his political rivals, so that way Lula couldn't even run because it just looked bad. So the same thing, Trump comes along and most politicians are corrupted somewhat, some more so than others. There was the Hillary Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, and things like that, and the whispers and the potentials of things with Biden and what have you. And I don't brush those off and say, oh no, there's nothing there. Oh, it's fine, it's my guys. No way. I just mean there's not a whole lot to the Hunter Biden thing, it would appear, or that the 4 years of the Trump presidency would have gotten a lot more than they did. They never brought up charges, so I don't buy it. I think it's a lot of talk. But it's real. Candidates running against the Democrats or Republicans can say, "Hey, look at this. Look at Iran Contra. Um, look at Benghazi, or any number of things, or pork barrel spending, or somebody's kid is on the board there, like had with Biden and stuff like that. It's not good. The Clinton Foundation stuff appeared to be a quid pro quo. It's not nice. This is corruption. But it's typical corruption. It's the kind of corruption that happens and is not okay, but is kind of normal. So what I think happens and happened with Bolsonaro and Trump is that they came along as these faux populists. Oh, look at all this corruption. I'm going to clean this place up. Yeah, right. Those two were the most corrupt individuals those countries had ever had as leaders. And what the people didn't understand was that those people were correct in pointing out corruption. Maybe they exaggerated some and were hypocrites on other scenarios, but that just because somebody points out corruption doesn't mean that they can or will do anything about it, or that they're not even more corrupt. And Bolsonaro and Trump were more corrupt than anyone preceding them by orders of magnitude. Just the effect of Bolsonaro on the Amazon itself burning and its care and its condition is a crime against humanity enough, probably compared to almost any other leader ever at any time. Much less how he handled COVID, or how he handles LGBT, or Native Americans, or whatever, indigenous people in his country, formerly his country, hopefully soon. And this idea of not honoring the election and driving people and talking about driving people into doing whatever they can to overturn the election, like Trump did. So what the people didn't understand is that it could be worse. It could be way worse. And now they're looking at way worse and saying, oh, no, these guys did this, or this guy stole the election, or whatever. They're in denial because what they're saying is, holy shit, I have a hand in, had a hand in making things way worse. And I'm not saying we should sit there and like and enjoy the type of corruption that Lula or Biden or Clinton or George W. Bush or anybody did. It's not okay. None of it's okay. But be careful what you wish for. Sometimes the guy who comes along plays you like a fiddle and says, oh yeah, I'm this reformer. I'm all these things that you want me to be. I'm going to clean this place up. When they have no intention of doing so. So, you will know them by their fruit. And just look at the life of Trump before president. Failed businessman, all these dirty tricks that he's finally catching up with him. Um, the loans, the taxes, the not paying people, and uh, going out of business and bankruptcies where he didn't have to pay for anything. Just kind of always staying one step ahead of everything. That guy's not going to suddenly reform everything. Why? I mean, the system helps him. So, I understand the desire to have clean the place up and what have you, but if you remember, like the type of cleaning the place up for these guys is scapegoating certain groups, already marginalized groups, and blaming them or taking away rights from them even further. So yeah, I've just been in the garden. Sue me. So there we are. Like, how will they fix it? How will they clean it up? Who are they going to hold accountable? And notice they held Lula accountable in a way that was cheating. It was wrong. It was rigged. So, it's a cautionary tale. Yes, reform. Have laws where congressmen and women can't invest in stocks and all these things that when bills and stuff come before them. They shouldn't be able to invest at all, and just maybe we pay them a little better or something like that. So there are plenty of hard and fast, obvious ways to change things, but there's not going to be some slick talking guy that blames all these groups and says I alone can fix it that's going to come in and really fix it. It's usually a trick, and so where's the doubt? Where's the incredulity when it's needed? So of all the fallacies and different things I bring up and point out and try to define, this idea that things can't get worse because they're so bad is one of them. And perhaps maybe we do come to a place where we say, okay, there's going to be some amount of corruption here, greasing hands to make business happen. And we should try to keep it under wraps and keep it under control and keep it from being egregious. But that real corruption is the kind where the current president gets a gang of violent racists to attack the Capitol. That's where we are now. This person's running again. This person keeps committing crimes, and the depth and depravity of his crimes keep coming to light. Similarly with Bolsonaro, they keep doubling down. So it's like an ongoing problem. It's not like Trump did any one of the things he did. He did them all, and he keeps doing them, and is trying to overwhelm our legal system and our minds and our capacity to sense make. So we're all getting worked on so hard. So I'm not a giant fan of the Bidens and the Clintons and the Bushes and, those kind of guys either. I want a fresh crop of people. But they're not going to be guys like Trump. They're going to be guys that actually want to govern, actually believe in government. Bernie, Pete Buttigieg. Maybe there are people on the right. I'm not seeing them right now. I mean, you could obviously say Liz Cheney, who's way more conservative, voted with Trump 99% of the time, but eventually stood up and said no more. That's the kind of person I want running the Republican Party. I don't agree with them in the way they want to govern, but at the end of the day, they're going to be honest. That's how I think it used to be. That's what we need to get back to pretty quick. And then, let's clean the place up. But beware the guy who says, yeah, I got this, when nobody's been able to clean the place up until now. Because he's probably full of shit. And in our case, in the case of Brazil and Bolsonaro, yeah, they were totally full of shit. And they were unmitigated disasters. They're the forest fire that can't be put out. They just keep going and going. So we've got to have a little bit more capacity to say, why do I like this rhetoric so much? Why am I believing in everything this guy says? Why am I so quickly abdicating to this person who is telling me everything I want to hear?